Alright, hello everyone, this is Five. We're checking out Acrolyte. This is a game I've not played before. Gonna give it a shot here and see if we can give some useful feedback. I've got the game page open here. This is disclaimer, this is an early gameplay demo. It's not representative of the quality or polish of the final game. Most of the content you see here are placeholders which will not be present in the final game. The intent of this demo is to determine how ready the game is from a mechanical standpoint and to test out the general gameplay to see if it's good enough to begin planning and building the final game world. Acrolyte is a 2D Metroidvania game with a heavy focus on movement and combat. Goes on to mention some credits, and it mentions the controls here. So we have move is WSD, jump is spacebar, dodge is shift, aim is mouse, fire is left mouse button, grenade is right mouse button, switch weapon is middle mouse wheel, interact is E, throw weapon is G, pause is enter, and map is backspace. Alright, so a couple things I noticed these last few here. So we have throw weapon is on G. That's a little bit of a reach. It's reachable, but I feel like it's not... Like, generally the keys immediately surrounding the WASD are, you know, the ones that you want to use up first before you have to go to ones that are kind of separated a little bit further that you have to kind of reach for. So I feel like, you know, you have a lot of other keys you could choose from. You could use Q, you could use F, you know, there's lots of keys. So G isn't the first choice I would make. You have enter as pause, so I would definitely suggest use escape. Escape is kind of like the universal key for pause on like basically every PC game, so definitely recommend that. And map is on backspace, so again, like the enter key and the backspace are both on the other side of the keyboard, so I'd have to take my hand off of the mouse in order to reach those. You could argue it's the same for escape, but that's, you know, I mean for the left hand, but that's a small reach and that's something I'm very, very used to. Map I would personally use the tab key for, very easy to reach that. With the left hand again. I definitely don't want to have to bring my entire hand off with the mouse, especially like if I need to pause the game or something. That's like you just want to reach that a little easier. But in any case, and the map I would assume would be used quite frequently, so might suggest slightly different choices for some of those keys. I don't know if it's rebindable at the moment, but we'll find out. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into the game here. At the moment, it's in a window. Might look a little bit blurry in the capture, being blown up to 1080p. We're going to find out if I have any video options or anything here. Looks like I have to... Alright, some placeholders. I have to choose a file here. Alright, it looks like we're playing. We got the FPS in the bottom right. Actually very loud. I'm going to have to turn this down, I think. Okay, hopefully that's a reasonable level for this video. Just kind of guessing out of here, but so I touched the movement to presumably get my guy to stand up here. Alright, here we are. Okay, so if you click outside the window, it's going to unfocus the game. So, let me see if... Okay, Alt-Enter is... Okay, I press Alt-Enter and as a consequence it opened the pause menu, so that's kind of silly. Again, putting Enter as the pause button can have that kind of consequence. But so I'm looking at the idea of like if you click outside of the, even as you can see, there's like a border even in full screen here. I guess this is just to ensure that we're staying aligned to the pixels on the screen, but it does look like I can click outside here and it's not going to interrupt the game, which is good. But definitely if you're in windowed mode that doesn't work, so I can't imagine playing in windowed mode. It's a lot of fun for that reason. So looks like we have a very slight randomization on the where the bullet, I don't know, call it bullet spread. Let's call it that. Right mouse button isn't doing anything as of yet. But so it looks like we're playing. Oh, what the heck? Wait. Okay. So that, oh my gosh, oh, there's a little ledge right here. I didn't see that at first, but my goodness, there's like little reflections on this pillar in the background. That's wild. There's also some seams that are popping up you can see here in the pillars when I jump up and down, which is kind of weird. I guess it's not intentional. But yeah, I'm really surprised there's like little reflection effects and stuff going on here. That's kind of crazy. Oh yeah, there's all sorts of seams popping up all over the place. I'm sure you can see in the capture here. It's a bit unfortunate. I don't think it's... Okay. Going back into windowed mode, it doesn't go back to the same window size as before, so I don't know if that had anything to do with, or if that had any effect on the seams popping up here or whatever, but so okay, I'm hitting escape when I should be hitting the enter key, I guess. Okay, it looks like the settings menu is not functional at the moment, so that's too bad. But you know, something for the future. I would definitely like to see an exclusive full screen mode so that we could get that turned on. I tell everybody that. You know, just get more frame stability. You can switch off VSync. I know pixel art game like this, you usually want to have VSync on, but you know, it's just an option I think we should have. But let's try playing here. I will say this type of game, you usually want to play with a gamepad, but this using mouse aiming is obviously going to restrict that, so I guess we're just gonna have to see how this goes. I don't know if the game is going to like tutorialize anything. I'm trying to remember all the keys. I think okay, backspace is going to be important, right? I gotta remember that. Here's our map. Looks like there's a little area in the top right here that I didn't explore, right? I think that was, it's like up too high for me to jump up on some of these things. I'm a little annoyed at the water. I understand that the way this works and it's like, you know, Metroid-esque and whatever, but I feel like that is just a little bit more restrictive than I want it to be. I don't know. Maybe it's not a big deal. You probably don't encounter a lot of water like that, but did I? Oh yeah, I ended up filling in. I filled in the map space successfully, so. Oh, okay, so. Okay, I think you can actually see the little reticle lag behind the mouse ever so slightly. Input delay here, maybe. I don't know, it's very slight. We are seeing both the mouse and the cursor. The mouse cursor and the in-game cursor at the same time, which is maybe probably not what you expect for the final game here. Yeah, it's maybe something to try and get used to, but it feels like it's kind of slower to move the mouse around to aim than it would be to, you know, use a gamepad input to do your aiming with. I'm feeling like I should have a double jump or something. It's just a little bit tricky, a little bit trickier using it WASD to jump around than with a gamepad for sure. I will mention that now that I've run all the way past it, so it's a little bit hard in some cases to differentiate between what is and isn't, you know, in the foreground here and has collision. So you can definitely figure it out, but be something to be careful about. Your jump is quite fast and high, so you know, compare this to something like, you know, Metroid is obvious comparison. Metroid has very floaty jumping, but what that means is that when you're doing this kind of thing where you're kind of trying to jump and aim, it just feels a little nicer because the timing is less particular. Wow, you can do wall jumps, huh? That's cool. Trying to play with how forgiving that is. It seems quite easy to do, even though it's WASD, so... yeah. Oof. Doesn't look like you can do the Mega Man thing, which I'm sure is probably by design. Yep. But yeah, so just in general, I mean, this feels a little bit fast for your vertical. It's a little bit hard to jump less if you want to. Like, you really have to just tap it ever so slightly. It's a little tricky because you don't want to go messing with the jump. I mean, I don't know how much of the game is in here, but you don't want to... if you've made a lot of the game levels and stuff already, then you can't really mess with the jump height after the fact. You'd have to redo everything, but yeah, maybe you might play around with reducing the speed of, you know, the up and down speed here a little bit. Tweak the gravity and whatever you need to. Because it is a little bit, you know, even just the amount that the camera is moving just feels like a little bit much, in my opinion. And especially when you're talking about mouse aiming and stuff, when you have the camera moving around a lot relative to the game world, it also like moves your mouse aim around, and then you have to like try and compensate for that, and it can be quite annoying, you know. Like trying to aim like that, it's like you're constantly adjusting to your aim sort of being off. It can easily feel that way, so... and yeah, I kind of just... Also noticing your air movement is a little bit restricted, so like if I'm already running in the direction, you'll move pretty quick, but like if I'm not already running in that direction, I can't really adjust much and like change direction in midair. It's a little bit limited, so I feel like, you know, I was able to do that, which is what I was trying to do here, but it's like I feel like that should be a little bit easier. It doesn't look like it's gonna take me up to whatever's up there. Oh, it's actually pretty close. I wonder if it's possible to... oof. My whole forearm is gonna get worn out trying to do this with all my left hand. Again, this is like a thing I would expect to do on the gamepad. Ah, okay, see? I'm getting closer. Oh my gosh. Whew! Yeah, it's hard after a while because of like how many different fingers you have to use to coordinate. After a while, it's like you start to... I don't know how to explain it. It's like your coordination with the controls, it like starts getting worse. It's just some kind of a fatigue, both a physical and a mental fatigue, I think. It's like you forget how to coordinate all of the different fingers at the same time to do something like this. Oof, I do wonder... oh. Okay, that's kind of funny. So I happen to have my gamepad plugged in here, and I just kind of reach for it to see, like, I wonder what would happen if I actually might be able to do this with the gamepad. But you can see it's... apparently this isn't properly implemented yet, so it's doing this thing where it's rotating, I guess, towards the screen. So the D-pad isn't working, unfortunately, but this is definitely a little bit comfier. I mean, it's not ideal on the stick, I think, doing something this quickly. It's a lot easier with a D-pad, but it just feels a lot more comfortable than using WSD, so... I apologize for anyone watching this if you don't want to see me try doing what I'm doing at the moment, but oh my gosh, it looks like you could do it, you know? It's like so close. Whoops. Alright, we're gonna have to give it up on this in a moment, but I don't know. I mean, this is my guess. That's not the intended way to do that, but it looks like you could, and that, you know, once you see something like that, it's like it looks like you might be able to do that, and especially in this type of game, it's usually a thing that you kind of you gotta try, right? So can we do like oh, it's shift, right? Oh, interesting sound. It does. Okay. So the sound kind of trails off in the left channel, which, as an audio guy myself, kind of bugs me a little bit. But otherwise, you know, it's cool assets. But yeah, my oh, wait, what was that? What was that little flip there? Okay. You have to hold forward and up and like press jump when you hit a little corner like this? No way. Okay. Oh, wait. What just happened there? I didn't... What the heck? I'm so confused. Okay. So, it was possible to get this. Utility belt with pouches designed to carry fragmentation grenades. Press the Alt fire button to throw grenades. Utility belt. So, wait a minute. Grenade. So did I pick up a belt or did I just pick up grenades? This, like, I feel like there should be a distinction between the belt itself and the grenades, because grenades would be like the things you pick up, but then a belt would be like, it would sound like a power-up of some sort. You know, in a Metroidvania, that's kind of an important distinction, I think. So I'm like, which kind of thing did I pick up? Was that just like a grenade? Could I just get that anywhere? Maybe it's like a Metroid. The Metroid equivalent would be the rockets, you know. So there's probably a lot of similar power-ups that we're gonna find around. But oh, okay. So I think for a moment after I left the pause screen here, I couldn't move to the right. I don't know. There was a moment where it's like I pressed the key and it didn't. Wait, let me see if I. Oh, okay. Okay, yep, so a little bit of a bug here. So if I'm holding to the left and I pause while holding to the left and then I unpause, if I press the D key to go to the right, I'm also sliding across the ground at the moment. I wonder if that might be related to my gamepad, but I don't know. At the moment I'm holding the D key and it's not moving, so if I release it and then press it again, now it's moving again. So if you're moving when you press pause and then unpause, you can't... Yeah, you can't move either direction until you, like, press it and then press it again. So, okay, it looks like it might just be related to the slopes. I'm hoping it's not from the... No, I don't. I think there's a considerable dead zone set on the gamepad, so I don't think it's the gamepad. But yeah, a little bit of a slide there when you stop on that slope. Okay, interesting. See, again, like the camera is moving the aim around, which is just one of these things. Just kind of the nature of adding this kind of aiming to a game like this. So if yeah, okay, I can crouch and slide. So again, I'm hearing that in the left channel. It's just playing in my left ear, basically, and that's kind of annoying, so. If you need any audio help, you can always let me know. I can can help you out, whatever you need. I did notice there's a little bit of that reflection action going on, like the edges of this pillar here. It's really interesting. I don't know what the deal is with this pillar. I feel like I'm supposed to go past this, but it's... Okay, you can hurt yourself with these. I feel like you should be able to like bake them or something. Like if I hold down the button, that it would kind of charge it, you know. Is that the right word when you bake it? You bake a grenade? I don't know. I mean, there's a little bit of a downside to having like these charge up effects is that technically the shot comes out later because it's on mouse or the button release instead of button press. But yeah, I don't know. Wait, what on earth? If I'm crouching and then jump, it does like a flip. Is that just cosmetic? Wait, no, it's higher. You tell me that's a higher jump? What? Interesting. Interesting. Okay. I still... I don't understand. Alright. So... while I'm screwing around here... Oh, I think I can go up here and then to the right. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Oh, by the way, so I think I'm right here. I definitely... You know, maybe this is planned or whatever, but I definitely would like to see a little blinking dot or similar denoting where I actually am, because it's a little bit... I can't really tell from a glance like where I am, and even if you highlight, you know, the section of the world that I'm in, I'd like to see where inside that square, you know, that kind of thing. So I was gonna say, just while I'm thinking of it, I've always had this idea, it might be interesting to have do something like have a gamepad in one hand and like have the mouse in the other. I know I'm causing this weird bug to happen again, but it might be a fun thing to try. You'd have to like map jump to the right mouse button or something. You know, if you have more mouse buttons, you know, mouse 4 and 5 and such, then you can probably manage that. But I always thought that would be interesting, just because you get a little bit more of that dexterity from using the gamepad for your movement and everything, rather than using WSD. So I think that'd be interesting. Wow, that was a lot faster than I thought or expected. Ugh. Yeah, I'm kind of like... I'm not really enjoying the idea of like having to use the mouse and aim with the idea of doing the you know, side-scrolling platforming and aiming with the mouse, and it's just like a lot of kind of dramatic movement. I'm sure it's something you can get more used to, but yeah, honestly, just something really comfy about just using straight up gamepad controls. So that's something. Oh, okay. Okay, so at the moment we don't have like a sound effect for taking damage, I guess. We're lacking a little bit of feedback there. Wait. Oh, these changed. Why are these changing? Also, apparently if my gun is like in the wall, then it can't... Oh, so that's why that changed. Then I can't shoot? Wait. I can't even shoot down here, so this is kind of unexpected. Oh, but I can shoot if I click over here, but if I click like inside of that... doesn't shoot. Okay. Kind of weird. Is it because I'm too close? Wait, what the heck? Okay, apparently if I click like in this area, like where I'm standing, it doesn't shoot. Which is a little weird when you get up like against a wall or something like this, because I'm like trying to shoot the wall or something, and it just doesn't work. I don't really see what the need of that would be. It's actually kind of funny. You can sort of point the gun at the screen. It looks like, I don't know, maybe that was the idea that the developer thought that would be weird if you did this and then you shot, that it didn't come towards the screen or something to that effect. It does look like that thing is taking damage. It wasn't really giving much in the way of feedback, but I can see the little red X now, so that thing has died. It does look like you can shoot those. I got the biomass pack. Oh, you can hear the bullet hit off in the distance. It did look like that the bug I mentioned about if you're holding a direction when you pause the game, then it doesn't respond to your input for a moment. That does look like it happens when you pick up objects and stuff too, where it kind of pauses the game itself. But yeah, you could definitely have some stereo separation here. You know, if something is way off to the left, it would make sense for it to be more in the left channel. Oh, okay. I accidentally I moved my mouse over to my second screen for a moment, so a little bit too far. That's one of the dangers of having multiple monitors when you're trying to play this kind of game, I guess. I think if you have exclusive full screen mode, it doesn't do that. Possibly. It's very particular, the aim with that, though. Okay, so yeah, so it's a little disappointing. If you jump after doing the dash, you lose, like, you don't maintain your speed, your momentum there, and it's a little disappointing. I'm kind of used to that with some other games, and like, you know, the Mega Man games and stuff. You get a little bit, your jumping horizontal speed would match your ground speed if you're holding the dash button and stuff like that, where here it just doesn't really feel right if I dash and then jump and then it doesn't inherit that same speed, you know, and you just lose it, so that's a little bit annoying. The other thing I was going to mention is apparently we needed a grenade to get past this part. We got a biomass, which oh, okay. Should probably try and figure out what biomass is. I don't know, it doesn't look like it's in here. Kick slide. Oh, so that's a sliding kick. It's not just mobility. Backdash. Dodge while standing. What are the buttons here? Oh. Oh, okay, but it's dependent on... Interesting. It's dependent on your facing angle, but if you aim, your aim doesn't affect your facing angle. It's your movement left and right. So get a you know, the Castlevania style dash if you want to do that, I guess. But I wonder if you might want to do that based on where the cursor is relative to the character rather than the actual facing direction determined by the left and right keys here. Because like if I want to, like, maybe I want to shoot this way, but I want to backdash this way, it's like away from the direction I'm shooting, right? But I have to think about like which direction is the rest of my character's body facing, which is maybe a little bit counterintuitive, and it's just a little bit more to think about, I think, and keep track of, because the aim is not restricted by that. Whereas, you know, in a different control scheme, maybe your aim would always be forward to the direction you're facing. But in this game, it's not, so I feel like that would be a little bit simpler if you want to use that. Oh. That's cool. You can dash over little gaps like this. That's fun. I like that. Ugh, kind of reminds me of the old, you know, the Mario Brothers games where they had little gaps you could just run over and... so this is a kick. I started to say before, I don't think I finished my thought because I keep getting distracted by other things. Looks like these will magnetize towards you a little bit, but not super strong. So that thing before that took the grenades to get past, I'm not sure if that's like required to progress. Maybe it's not. I still don't know what that biomass was, but I do remember that it was not really easy to get to those grenades, and they definitely felt out of the way, so it is a little weird to go into... Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say. I mean, I guess it's typical in a Metroidvania game to go and, you know, find a dead end and not have the thing to proceed with. I was just thinking, like, you know, you can't expect all of the players to have the grenades yet, considering it was quite difficult to get those, figure out how to get those, and everything, so maybe that's something to think about. That was a little weird. I guess I'm down here now. Oh, these things are really fast, though. Oh, yeah, okay. So, oh, this is that place I was at before. That's kind of annoying. Oops. Just hit right mouse accidentally. So yeah, I'm not entirely keen on these enemy behaviors at the moment, because having some audio would help, but like these guys that dash at you, it seems like they can accelerate off the screen, so like by the time you see them on the screen, they're already going like at full speed, and then it's like you don't really have a lot of reaction time at that point, which is a little unfortunate. And then you have this guy that kind of dives out of the ground, and that guy doesn't really telegraph at all. So like if he just like happens to, you know, zoom out at just the right spot, you don't really have any reaction time for that either. And you know, I definitely recommend being very careful about that kind of thing with the enemy designs, and make sure the player has ample time to react and not get messed up by stuff like that, because that's a very quick and easy way to cause frustration, I think. Wait, oh shoot. So I think, yeah, you can do a little flip up like that. So this thing where you can do this little flip up here. Oh, wait, what was that? Oh, I did a wall kick. I didn't realize I did that. Okay. I was like, I just like double jump or something. This part right here feels like too dark. Like this feels like it's in the background, versus like this part where it gets lighter, but that's not what's actually going on here. So I'm not really sure why that is. Like this part is lighter. I guess you're trying to do, you know, have some kind of a light source or whatever. But like this is like equally dark to this part, and you don't really get that solid definition between where the background is and isn't with that. But I think that this little flip up thing, I don't know, it's not like it's hard to do, but a little hard to discover. I wonder if it would make more sense to just I think it would make sense to, instead of having to hold up and forwards to trigger that, I think it makes sense to just have it, like if you're just holding forwards and you just press jump right as you hit that corner, that you can just do it that way, and that would make it a little more intuitive and players more likely to figure that out, I think. I don't really see a reason to have to require the up input to be added into that, so okay, I'm gonna fall down here again. Oh gosh. This kind of thing where it's back and forth like that, it's like if you screw up just right, it's like you keep trying to compensate and you end up just like doing the thing where you keep like missing over and over again and you fall really far. It's really silly. Okay, so you have to put a little thought into this. I guess there's a little thing over here, and I guess we can like do this. Oh, okay. See, I don't really know what that is that I'm looking at and how to interact with that properly. A little pole there, so it's kind of a little bit annoying. Oh gosh. Keyboard controls. So whatever this is. Oh shoot. I tried to press dash and then jump, and I pressed jump first, I think. Oh, come on. Oh wait, you're not supposed to jump. I think you're just supposed to press dash. Oh gosh. I don't know if you can dash through things. I did kind of try to, but I got hit before it came out there. Before I got the key depressed, I suppose. Alright, dash button and then... No, I don't... I guess you... Maybe that's just the background. Oof. So again, I think there's just a little bit too much ambiguity between what is and isn't background. I don't think... Yeah. It looks like something you can interact with, but I'm just gonna guess that it's not. Based on my repeated attempts here. So where else do we go? This is quite... I feel like we're hitting a lot of dead ends. So I mean, there's a forward place down here, but this... See, it looks like if you're looking at the pixels here, it looks like there's like little gaps you could go through or something, but I couldn't figure that out. Maybe I should just go back there. It didn't look like there's anything like that I could go through. But... Alright, you do have this effect. You can kind of fall down here and end up landing on this little zoomer guy. Possibly, because the camera doesn't really go down. I'm sure you must have considered whether you want to have the camera shift around a little bit with the aiming. I'm not sure if that's a good idea. But sometimes I do feel like they should do that. I don't know. Maybe that'd be worse. I'm not really sure. Am I going the right way? Okay, there's... Wait, no, this part I went through, right? Or did I? Okay, I see what's going on now. Okay. Okay, so I think this critter here is supposed to be demonstrating you can go through here, maybe. Maybe there's a thought process there. I don't remember what happened the first time I was here. If I registered that was going on there, but again, it's just maybe just not quite as obvious as it needs to be that this is background and this isn't, you know. Yeah, the jump just feels too strong vertically to me. It's one of those things a lot of times when I see people working on side-scrolling or whatever, something that just stands out immediately is if they have there's just sort of a feel thing about, you know, the way the jumping works and everything. Obviously there's your your horizontal movement and your inertia and everything else like that. But specifically with the jumping, you have this issue of like, you know, how high do you make the character jump? How fast do they go up and down? And in this case, it definitely feels like the vertical's a little bit too strong. So I don't know, maybe just, like I said before, maybe just reducing the speed just a little bit. That guy's very fast. Maybe reducing the vertical speed a little bit would just help that feel better. And then you can always have it, I mean, you already have it basically where you can control the height of the jump based on when you release the key. But if you slow this down a little bit, then you can have more of it'll feel a little bit more in control where it's not always jumping so high, right? Because the player will have a little bit more time to kind of choose their jump height there. And if they really want to maximize the jump, then they can hold down the key for as long as they need to. I think that would just feel a little nicer. So I think that's background. This isn't. What on earth? But there are some times when the enemies are kind of close to the edges of the screen or whatever, and you can't really see very far. So those are the moments where I'm feeling like, well, maybe the camera should just shift a little bit based on where I'm pointing the cursor. I don't know, but definitely getting a little bit of that effect. Maybe it's not actually a problem as much as it maybe kind of feels like it might be sometimes, but... Oh, I guess he died and then slid off the screen. Okay, well, that's 2 for 2. That was interesting. Well, he's down there. Yeah, they do slide awful far after you kill them, don't they? So these are just grenade things, right? So I guess I'm here. It looks like we can go all the way over here. It looks like... I don't know if it's just for the sake of the demo or what, but it does look like we have a lot of this kind of revealed for us already. It's not just in the black until we discover that. I'm not sure if that's also true, if there's like secret areas that might not be revealed immediately or not, but it does look like this kind of goes off into a dead end. Maybe we find something interesting at the end here. Oh, I thought he was gonna die. What am I getting stuck on? Oh, this is... Okay, so again, I actually thought this was in the background. This whole pillar here, so that was kind of silly. Well, that didn't go where I hoped. What is this little corner up here for? Oh, what was that little dissolve effect there? What was that? It was like there was something here that dissolved when I walked through it or something, so does that mean... Okay, so rather than find something at the end of this, it just kind of went back into here, and apparently there was something blocking this path before, which just kind of disappeared instantly. This happened so quickly I couldn't really register what was going on there, so you might want to think about that kind of thing. It's definitely important when something, especially if it's going to kind of affect the overall progression of the game and the map and everything. Any kind of event like that, you want to be really clear, take the time to make it really clear to the player that something of significance has happened, whereas that was like almost invisible. And I don't know, it's like maybe not entirely clear on the map itself. I don't know if that's just, it's too much work to make the pixel or two disappear there or something. I don't know. But I think I just want to go back to where I was going before. Just kind of silly. Just go back through this place that I just walked through. I'm a little curious. Looks like we have whatever security pistol is. Defense is 123%, mobility 123%. Up here it says 123%. I don't know what any of that means. Offense 123%. I still don't know what that biomass was. It does say danger here. Health is 130 out of 400, it looks like. This feels a little hidden in this interface. There's a lot of flashy stuff all over the place here. And then health is just hidden as kind of a number. I would actually, like, you have this kind of section. This almost looks like a health bar, you know, this little segment here. I think, you know, just to make it a lot more immediately visually obvious, I would turn this little, you know, the background of this at the least into like a health bar, and it would just kind of stand out. So like when you pause the game, nothing else, it would be a little bit more immediately obvious without having to like find and read the actual number, that you'd have something designating how much health you have left. Because this is a little bit busy in terms of the overall design here, and you don't really have a lot of distinction between elements in terms of how much they stand out, right? And even, you know, this mostly visual, like these are very cool visuals, and there's, you know, some nonsense over here. It looks like ASDS DFA, whatever. You know, everything's kind of fighting for your attention. So I don't think this is bad. I think this is pretty functional overall, but like something like your health is really important to have that be kind of a prominent element in the screen like this. And I actually haven't really been paying attention to what, I guess up here, I haven't really been looking at this UI at all. Actually, I haven't even looked over here really. For whatever reason, I just haven't really noticed this while I've been playing. So yeah, it's a little thing, but whatever. And yeah, that kind of thing, like if you want to jump and just shoot in here, like, and so part of the problem is when I press the jump button, you can see how my aim relative to my character kind of shifts around, just because of the nature of having mouse aiming in a game like this. So I can't keep my aim straight forward unless I do some kind of wonky, like, compensate for the camera and character movement with my right hand, which is very silly trying to do that. But the other thing is, you know, just the speed of the jump, it makes it harder to time this to try and shoot in between here. Which again is all stuff that, you know, if you just have like gamepad controls or whatever, this kind of thing it's very doable by comparison, I think. So this stands out to me. It seems like there's not really any limit to how fast you can shoot this thing, which means that, like, if you have a really fast clicky finger, then you can kind of spam a ton of damage. I'm not sure if enemies will take damage as fast as you shoot them also, but most of the time I think it's a good idea to have a little bit of a limit on, you know, have a cap on your firing rate, even if it's semi-automatic, just because you end up in this weird thing where it's like, technically it's more optimal if you just, you know, like, click extremely fast, whereas it's just, you know, it's very tiring, and a lot of people can't click, you know, some people can't click as fast as other people can, and all these other weird factors, whereas if you just put a reasonable cap on it, then it's like, okay, you can still hit the maximum firing rate without having to do anything ridiculous like trying to spam the hell out of that button. Where are we? Okay, we go up from here, I suppose. Ouch. I didn't really know how to avoid that. That was just like a spread taking up everywhere around me there. Yeah, I'm not sure I like that. It seems like up until this point with that particular enemy, every time it spat out its little shots, it's pretty much always been in like some direction where it can't really get to me. The shots can't get to me, but like now that I'm here and they're kind of like, especially with them being right outside the screen and stuff like that, like yeah, it feels like these are way too strong, both in terms of their homing and how many of them there are and the way that they spread out and everything. It seems very unavoidable in many situations, so I don't think I particularly like that. I'd rather see that be kind of nerfed in some way. I don't know if it's really necessary to have them home in on you and everything like that. I feel like, I don't know if I've been here before, it's just I'm fighting the same kind of enemy and the same kind of scenery, I guess. What is that? Why did it shoot towards me when I killed it? That was kind of weird. Oh, so I can like shoot these things it's shooting, I guess. Okay, we got a thing. I don't know how... Oh, jeez. I'm just gonna guess it's not possible at the moment to get that with my current abilities. It's kind of an interesting way to hide a thing like that. Some kind of a belt, it looks like. Now these resemble to me the little, in Super Metroid, the things that disappear when you step on them, so I'm gonna guess that's what that is. Oh boy, okay. Ooh. So to the right is a giant chamber. To the left is something else, which kind of looks like a dead end. I'm feeling like going to the right, this almost looks like a boss room or something, so maybe I just go to the left here first. Oh, what is that? Is this like a... Oh, that is not like a save room or something. Oh my gosh, what? How... Whoa, okay. How do we hurt this thing? Okay, no, I don't like that horizontal shooting effect there. Okay. Yeah, where he's like shooting across the floor and like the entire floor is just bullets. It's like where am I supposed to go? I can't like hover in the air above it while he's shooting. Is it I guess I didn't get a chance to save anywhere, so that's interesting. So I guess we just start over from the beginning, which is pretty lame, especially for like a Metroidvania. This is not the type of game where you want to lose a ton of progress like that, you know. So yeah, that's really too bad. Why does it say 50% up here? I think maybe from like before I restarted, maybe I'd like explored 50% of the map and then I died, and then it's like it's unexplored now, but this still says 50% or something like that. But yeah, so what's the deal with the save rooms? Because that's like the most obvious thing in this game. It feels like you know, this map and everything is fleshed out enough to the point where you would have something like that already. Like we're not manually saving in the pause menu or something, right? What is this? All this text. What? Why was this all gibberish text? I guess we just didn't have it. It just starts out as gibberish until you hover over something for the first time, and then it sets it or something. I don't know if that's like a little bug or something. But yeah, that's too bad. I gotta. Oh, okay. So these were that's kind of weird. Oh, that's the wrong key. But this must be the place where I walked through. You walk through it from the other side, and all of this just kind of dissolves. That's interesting. But yeah, I guess there hasn't been any other place to get grenades except for that one. Where was that? So I think it was right at the beginning there, right? Oh gosh. And I wonder, it just seems like a big deal. Like there's been a number of times, even in the early part of the game here, where I've ended up using those grenades to progress. And the only place to actually find them it wasn't here. Where was it? In any case, it was quite well hidden up in the ceiling there, and quite hard to get to with the trying to figure out the controls and everything. It's just over here or something. No, this is this place. What the heck? Where are those grenades hiding? So further ahead than I remember? That can't be right. I gotta be... super confused now. I feel like a whole room disappeared or something, because I thought that was right at the start before I ended up going down into these other places. I feel like I got the grenades before I did like anything else. Yeah, okay, I was just remembering wrong. That's okay. Grenade belt. So it definitely says it's a belt. Okay. No biggie. Is there like a reason to go up here? I guess not. Ow. Alright, I tried to jump, but those things get quite fast. Honestly, I feel like those fast guys would be just a little bit... maybe just feel a little bit nicer if they were... the max speed was just a little bit lower there. Oh my gosh. I still haven't discovered if you can like dash through enemies. Oh, that didn't work. Oh my gosh, my health is way too low though. So that's another thing I'm realizing is that I don't think I've seen a single health drop like ever since I started playing, or any other way to regain health. So I feel like we're missing something kind of obvious here. You know, especially for if this is like early game or something. So that just goes back that way. I don't think there's really any point to going over here, except that it links back here. That's kind of weird. I don't really know what... I mean, it kind of looks like there might be something right here, but... I don't know, this seems like kind of a funny section because, you know, maybe technically that's a little bit shorter than going back around over here and stuff. I mean, that's not insignificant in terms of time save, I suppose, but I don't know, it kind of feels a little... Oh my gosh, yeah, so obviously I need to manage my health more, but yeah, I don't necessarily want to keep going through this over and over again and starting over from the beginning here, so I don't know if it's worth like I don't want to miss out on the other parts of the game here. It's just kind of too bad that I feel like if I knew exactly where to go, I could speedrun it pretty fast and just not waste as much time as I have in the past here. It's just, okay, I think over here is something I can't get to yet because I need those grenades. So I think I go all the way down and then get the grenades, and then there's more options from there. So grenades are right here. Oh, this is just not... Shoot. Gosh darn. I got it so easily last time. There we go. Alright. Return. So I can go back. I can get up here. We had a biomass, which... Still don't know what that is. Seemed important. Oh, that was kind of weird. I just... Wait, what the heck? I don't know, I was pressing the shift key a few times here. You can probably hear all my key presses in the microphone, but it wasn't doing the slide. I don't know what happened there. Get out of my face, bro. That's not very useful to slide like that. Oh my gosh. Ugh. Oh yeah, I don't like those guys. In particular. I'm not feeling that. There's a place over there. Wait, where was I before when I died? I don't know, this is quite a sprawl. I'm not really... I think I remember climbing up here and going to the left. I don't remember going in here. And there's this lower area. Did I just not go in there? No, I went in here before. Oh my gosh, that guy's way too fast. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Yep. So I I thought the game crashed there, but I just managed to barely move my mouse over to the other screen and click out of the game here, so it lost focus. Oh gosh, that was annoying. Oh, I don't like it when he falls on me. Can you go over here? Oh boy. So, big chamber. Oh. Okay. Oh, is this the save room? Is that what you did to me? Oh, okay. So if I press up, game saved. Okay, it's not really obvious that this is a thing. I would, at the very least, maybe just when you stand on this, have like a little up arrow kind of appear right here. Just have it flash, you know, press up. Press up or down, whatever it is. I pressed up, I guess. Do that. The other thing is, like... I feel like this is a classic problem with Metroidvanias because... I mean, it's not the first time that anyone who's played a Metroidvania and got to a point where they're like directly next to a save room and instead went in the other way and ended up fighting a boss and dying and losing all their progress, right? You know what I'm talking about. So I'm not saying that excuses this, that it has existed in other games, but maybe, you know, I mean, in the map you can see this little platform. Maybe if I knew better, I could have seen that and said, oh, that's a save room or something. Another thing, you know, you could always just mark it with an S, since you're already kind of showing the existing rooms here, or something like that. You know, I know this is like 4. You know, the Metroid save rooms were always one grid space, I believe. So I guess, I don't know, maybe that complicates it or something, but maybe there's just some way you can denote this so if the player looks at the map, at the very least, then they can make an informed decision about that. If they don't look at the map, then maybe they're kind of screwed. There's another solution, which isn't, it's not always universally applicable, but you know, you can lay out things so that they have to go through the save room before they get to the boss and that kind of thing. So that would be definitely something to consider. Another thing is that where this is early game, you know, you could probably be a little bit more generous with how many of these save rooms are going to show up here, because I've been playing for a while, and how long have I? Okay, and only just now found a save room, so there's quite a lot of area to explore and everything without finding one of those. And again, there's just no health drops like anywhere, which is interesting. Yeah, I don't particularly like that, and I feel like that's kind of an obvious thing to do. Maybe that's just the developer just didn't get that far yet or something, even though there's a lot of game here already in terms of the whole level structure and everything. That seems like a really simple thing to add. You know, health drops. We have other kinds of drops, so very simple thing. Don't know what the thought process there is. We have 300 health to work with, but I guess we only get it from this thing. I don't know, is it possible to explore the upper parts of this? Is there something up there? It looks like I at least got that to highlight in the map there. There we go. So if I wanna get the full map completion, maybe I just do those silly wall jumps to get that to highlight. So this number up here, I assume that to be the playtime or whatever, but I haven't been playing for 1 hour and 40 minutes. Like, this video is shorter than that still, even though this is a really long video so far. So yeah, I guess I successfully saved. This was a lousy jump across that little chasm there. That's okay. And we're gonna, I guess, try this guy again. I don't have very many of these. Oh, it's not even working. I wasted them. Ah! Oh, shoot. Shoot me in the... Why is he so fast? Wait a minute. Like, I can't like dash in the air or anything, so it's one thing to dash under him, but how am I supposed to get over him if he's gonna do that kind of circly thing? Like, okay, I guess I can jump over him. It's quite awkward because you don't have that much horizontal mobility in the air, and you know, particular with, okay, with the WASD input, it's just a little bit awkward to do some more precise movement like that, you know. I'd like to be able to dash in the air. That'd be very Mega Man, but okay. I mean, I kind of tanked a lot of shots there. It definitely seems like the game is currently giving you kind of a lot of health. Wait, okay, so that guy actually had some health drops, didn't he? So I guess there are health drops in the game. They just aren't coming out of the enemies for some reason. Or they did, but I didn't notice. But it definitely feels like we have more a health pool than there are health drops at the moment, which I feel like is kind of, well, it's not the way I would balance it, let me put it that way. So I think it's kind of a general concept. So in an action game, one of the most important things is that you're able to, the player is given the opportunity with enough skillful play to avoid damage, right? And so you want to avoid any situation where it feels like the player isn't in control enough to avoid the damage that's coming at them. So that's like kind of a universal thing. You always want to hunt down any moment where it just seems like it's either not possible or it's just kind of unreasonable that for the player to be able to avoid the damage from a certain situation or a certain kind of attack, or sometimes it's a combination of multiple enemies or whatever, and you want to kind of scrub out all those kinds of things. But what happens, and what I've noticed a lot, is that a lot of times developers will they either try to compensate with that by giving the player more health, or they just kind of give the player a lot of health in the beginning and then don't really realize that it's a problem, that it's quite difficult to avoid a lot of the attacks because there's just so much health, and they think, well, if the player isn't dying, then it's not a problem, if that makes sense. So basically, any kind of action game where you kind of end up giving the player too big of a health pool, and it can end up sort of masking this problem where the moment-to-moment action can have these issues where it can be too difficult to avoid damage and that kind of thing. And so what I think is that if you design the game such that the player can play successfully with a small health pool, then you can, because the consequences are so much more for when something doesn't work well, that kind of gives you, as the developer, a clearer vision of like, okay, these are the things that the enemies need to be tightened up enough so that the player can really be very skillful about it. And I'm not saying you make it super brutal and give the player very little health, and that can be frustrating in and of itself. Even if the game is well designed, it might just be too hard at that point, even if the player can be good enough. So it's not even about just giving them very little health, but just that idea of the way that having too much health can kind of compensate for some poor design decisions. And so I feel like we might have a little bit of that going on in terms of, we're starting the game with a lot of health, and yeah, to me it makes sense if you have less health, but you also have more health drops that are just popping up throughout the environment while you're playing, then that kind of tends to create a dynamic where in the moment-to-moment experience, you go into a room and you're fighting a bunch of enemies, you definitely have the tension of like, I can only sustain so many hits and then I'm gonna die, so I have to play well in that moment. But then like, okay, now all the enemies are gone, I can kind of go around and pick up the health, and I can sort of get my health back. So we're not being so punishing in terms of there not being enough health in the game. It's just kind of it forces it to be more momentary, where if we take a lot of hits in a row, then we might actually die. Whereas some games, they end up in this sort of problem where it's like you can just get so much health that you can tank everything for a while, but then eventually, if you don't have any health drops, you can't do that anymore, and that's not quite the same as the alternative as I described. So anyways, and that also counts for like bosses, right? Where you can create a boss and you're not going to be expecting to find any health drops during the boss fight. So that means you have to design the boss really tight so that works. You can't just run out of the room and go kill some enemies to pick up health. But on the other hand, if you go in here with full health, then you might end up playing the boss kind of poorly, but then still winning, and that doesn't really feel that satisfying, even if you didn't die. So yeah, I think it's better to have, more of the tension of you have to play well to finish the boss, but then have a really well-designed boss so that it's not frustrating and you're taking a lot of damage when you feel like you don't know how to get away from it, and you know, all that just leads to a better design, I think, if you take all those things into account. So in terms of that boss, yeah, I felt like I played it pretty lousy overall. It's okay for, you know, the first boss you encounter. It can be a little bit of a pushover or whatever, but I did take a number of damage, and some of those attacks did feel a little bit questionable, like the rapid fire attacks. I get that you can control a little bit, like where it ends up shooting if you jump right and get the timing and stuff, but it was kind of like, it's a little bit iffy. And then in some of the directions that it would shoot, it just felt like you couldn't actually get away from it. Like if I was playing Mega Man or something, I feel like I would have other options, like I could jump and then I could side dash in the air and like, you know, do these other things. At the moment, I don't have those kinds of mobility options. So like if he's shooting horizontally with this machine gun and I'm just like I can't get away from that in any way because I have to get back to the ground no matter what. I can only stay in the air for a moment. So, you know, there's some things like that in there that I felt like the boss there maybe could be handled a little better. So it looks like we got a grenade belt, which I assume is going to increase our total capacity here. Now this says grenade 6, which, okay, at the moment I guess I have 5 of them, so I'm thinking that that's showing the maximum. Whoop. How do we navigate this stupid menu here? How do you go? I guess you have to click there and go back. So I guess that's showing your maximum right there. I feel like this would make a little more sense to have this like a fractional. Like if I only have 5, then have like 5 out of 6, you know? Or if I don't have any, have like 0 out of 6. That would be a little bit less ambiguous because I don't otherwise know what this number is. Like if I look at this, I'm thinking, okay, do I have 5 currently, or is 5, or I should say 6. Do I have 6 currently, or is 6 the maximum? That would make it a little less ambiguous. But yeah, I guess for other players who didn't get that one in the beginning, then this might be the first place that they get that grenade thing. And then, oh wait a minute, these are, okay, I think this is the section, so these are going to blow up from the grenade, and then I think below here is probably where those other blocks that disappear when you stand on them are. That seems like it makes sense. I think I'm right here, right? And then I would go down. Oh, actually no, so there's, okay, so those were, I think, down here somewhere. I don't know. I don't think I ever went to these areas, so maybe it's worth exploring that. Oh my gosh. It's a little hard to control these things. Sometimes they go way further than, I guess it's dependent on, oh, I guess those are all gone. I guess it's dependent on like how far away the, okay, that's a little weird. I don't know, it's a little hard to aim these. I feel like maybe that could be done in a different way, but I don't know. I guess we're down here. Oh, is there just nothing here? Okay, I guess it's just a transitional point going to the place below. And that's where those blocks are, yeah, so okay. It's kind of anticlimactic, but that's okay. I am kind of hurting for the charge shot, you know, because like every enemy takes multiple hits to kill, like 2 at the bare minimum, I believe. So, I wouldn't necessarily say they're bullet spongy, but it's like a little bit in that direction, you know? You have to kind of spam a lot of shots, and that gets tiring pretty fast, so I feel like the charge shot is like the thing that solves that, you know? Or you can just blast an enemy and they just pop. But you know, you can't just spam the charge shot, you have to actually charge it up, so it kind of works out. But yeah, I know there's other weapons in the game. I don't know if this is ever going to give me a charge shot for this or whatever, but... So like, I wish I could scroll this around. It doesn't appear to be possible. I definitely I feel like that's a necessity for this type of game. Like, you have to be able to see the rest of the map in order to plan where you're going to go. And, you know, if the... A lot of the time you spend on Metroidvanias, of course, is kind of figuring out where the next way forward is, right? And if it's on like some other part of the map that's not visible from here, then it's like I can't really just open the map and study it and figure out, okay, I have to go try to go over there because it's just not, I can't actually see it. So I think that's a necessity, really, that you have to be able to scroll the map around. At the moment, I don't really know what to do. I know there's these areas that I haven't explored yet. So that whole boss fight seems to be just to get to the grenades, even though like right at the beginning I already got grenades. So that's a little bit silly because like, yeah, it was tricky to get to those grenades for sure, but it wasn't like so difficult that it was like a big deal to even know that they were there or something. So if you're talking about like doing sequence breaking or something, it doesn't, that pickup didn't feel to me like a sequence break, you know? Like, that wasn't such a big thing. It was mostly just not knowing the controls, like not knowing you could do the little flip thing there, because as soon as I saw that up there, or soon after I saw it up there at the top of the screen, I'm like, okay, well, can you do wall jumping and such, and can you get up there? As you know, you saw me spending the time doing that, and I was trying to do it a different way because I thought you could only do wall jumping. I didn't know you could do the little corner flip. And then as soon as I figured out that you could do the corner flip, which by the way was completely accidental, and you probably wanted to teach the player that somehow, but then it was like, okay, well, that was quite easy actually to get that. So yeah, I don't know if you want to have... Oh gosh, that's quite annoying. I don't know if you want to oh, I didn't even see this guy. Sometimes the enemies don't stand out as much as I'd like them to against the background here. I don't know if... What was I saying? I know I stopped saying... I started and stopped saying it so many times I forgot what I was going to say now, but it was like, you know, it makes sense if you want to have sequence breaking in the game, but to me that, you know, getting the grenades early like that didn't really feel like such a big thing. This is weird. But yeah, it seemed like I feel like, you know, that wasn't like a big scary boss per se, but the whole deal of going up here and doing all this just felt kind of lame, even though, you know, I'd rather have more grenades than not, but it didn't feel like much of a reward for going over there and killing a boss and stuff just to get the grenades when like I already had the grenades, you know. I don't think I can get up here. I don't know what this is. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I just go wherever. Okay, I'm getting a little bit of a bearing here. Did I go in here before? Oh, so this is... No, I don't think I was there before. I don't really know where to go. Guess I just jumped down here. Oh, okay, so I'm on the other side of this thing, so I can go down here. Oh, so that thing. Okay, I guess you can kind of see it. Depends on how fast it's going and the angle. Sometimes you can see it under the ground there, but no, I don't. I think that thing's moving way too fast to react to that reasonably if it just happens to come out right where you're standing, you know. So get the biomass pack, whatever that is. I think my health went back up to maximum. Is that like... Okay, so I was at 300 before, now I'm at 400, right? So I guess that's what the biomass pack is. This is just a maximum health upgrade. So you might want to... Oh my god, yeah, see, I don't like these enemies that are just coming off the screen. I can't really see where they're coming from. I can't react to them in time. Could definitely be improved, I think. But yeah, also, find a way to let the player know what a biomass pack is, because I picked that up and I never had any idea what happened there, so figured it out now. Where do we go? Where do we go next? See, so far since I've been playing, the only thing I really picked up besides that biomass was the grenades, and of course the grenades open up more areas to go to, but like I said, I had those basically from the start, so I feel like I don't know, like, where else, what other places would I supposedly have unlocked by getting the grenades. Okay, so I didn't go here, right? Those things, they're so small, it's like you can spam bullets at them, but it's a little hard to have a lot of confidence that you're going to hit all those little things, because my bullets are small and those projectiles are small, so it's like very easy to miss. And they're very fast moving, so like if I don't shoot them, they're going to hit me. Not feeling a lot of confidence in avoiding the damage there. Okay, we got more of this going on here. I want to see. Okay. So I can just kind of go over there, but I have to kind of manage the grenade physics. I guess that kind of worked out. Alright, well, that's good to have. But yeah, I definitely think you should be a little bit more generous with the save points. It's easy to waste a lot of time running around. I feel like I have to keep hitting this over and over. To try and figure out where to go next. Like, I think I need to at least look. Oh, I kind of already looked up here, but is that? Alright, so I feel like if you could get a little bit higher up there, then you could do the wall jumping to keep climbing, right? Because it looks like it, gosh darn it, it looks like it narrows, right? But I think from the beginning, wait, I do have, it's definitely seems like I'm supposed to have some other ability to work on that there. So going to the right kind of looks like a dead end, but I'm not sure if that connects to the other part. Alright, not a lot of enemies to choose from so far, I guess. You know, it's just the nature of the game being in an early state, I'm sure. But getting a little bit tired of running into the same things. This is interesting. It doesn't read as a place you could go into, but kind of feels cool, I guess. But yeah, I guess it's just another connecting area. I'm not sure what that place above is, if that's something I can go to. Wait, how did I not take damage from that guy just now? Okay, yeah, I can see this here. Alright, a little tricky to do that, but we've figured it out. Okay. I got a whole gun. That's pretty cool. Biomechanical lightning cannon focuses static electricity to launch powerful orbs of chain lightning. This appears to have some ammunition. So now we have the weapon switching that we have to deal with. So I'm going to pause the recording for just a moment, so you might see a little hitch. Alright, I'm back. So, yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about the idea of the weapons having ammo. That thing's coming right in here. Another thing is, oh, I guess that's a weapon ammo. So this weapon switching, really not my favorite to have mouse wheel. I know it's just it's very simple and intuitive, but I wouldn't say effective. So especially when you have more than one weapon, it's quite annoying to try and like swap through them all. I think it's fine to have that, but it's nice to have another option. So, you know, the old standbys, you just use the number keys like that, the old FPS style. Go through all your different weapons here. You're gonna have, it looks like 6 of them in total. That would be fine, I guess. I don't know if there's, well, I mean, there is a better, I won't say better, I'll say another option is you can do stuff like sometimes you have these like full screen weapon wheel things where it's like you hold down a button and like a circle will appear and you move the mouse in the direction or hover it over the thing that you want to equip, that kind of thing, you know. That could be a nice option, you know, stuff like that. But okay, so I clicked and nothing happened. Okay. That seemed to take a lot of hits. I don't know, it didn't feel very strong, especially with something with so limited ammo and it being slow to come out like that. What is up there? Can I like... I can almost get to that. Oof. I don't know. Okay, these are definitely background elements. Oh, it looks like a save room. Oh, never mind, that is not a save room. Okay, prosthetic wings. Artificial wings capable of short bursts of flight. Hold a direction and press the jump button midair to perform a directional air dodge. So we're using a different button for dodge, which is interesting. So if you don't press a direction... Okay, so we're getting more of the horizontal mobility I was kind of imagining from before, but... it is a little weird to have dodge on 2 different buttons. You know, like, depending on if you're in the air or not, right? I can understand you want to... Okay, yeah, the amount of inertia and the lack of air control after you jump is bothering me here, because I feel like I want to, like... If I'm running this... It's gonna seem like a weird thing to say, but like if I'm running this way and I just want to like jump off from here and I want to like line myself up right to the edge of that and then like do this, but I keep hitting that because it's like I keep, after I press the jump button, I keep going further than I want to because of the way the inertia works in the air. There's just not a lot of air control. And in particular, like if I let off, if I'm holding forward and then I jump and then I let off of holding forward, like I keep moving pretty much the same amount. It doesn't slow down or anything like you kind of expect from most other games would kind of do that kind of thing. So that's just affecting how the feel of the game is for me, I think. But yeah, so this is cool. It's definitely very powerful in terms of mobility. Just something to get used to because it can go in like any direction basically. Apparently not down though, that's interesting. Huh. Okay. But like... It's weird. So if I hold like down and left or down and right while I'm in the air and then press jump, it does like diagonal upwards. Like, why does it do that? But if I just hold straight left or right, it goes like this. It goes straight horizontal, but For some reason the down just goes up and horizontal like that. So yeah, I don't know what happened to the music. Oh, there it is. That was weird. Wait. Okay, it's just kind of... The weapon looked weird for a moment, like when I would turn around. It's just something was weird about the alignment there. I don't know, it does some weird stuff. Okay, so now we're getting all sorts of places. So yeah, that'll open up a lot of possibilities, clearly, but oof, it's a little hard just getting that fine movement in the air to move around the obstacles and stuff. Especially since you can't like see it until you jump to get the camera to go up there, and then it's like you can't really adjust, because again, you don't really have much air control or anything, so it's a bit tricky. Just feels like it should be a little easier there. Just do some of these movements. Oh, okay. So I tried to go up and right diagonal, but I just kind of ran into the surface there. I'm not really sure what happened. So I was holding up and right. Oh no. Oh. Pretty sure I pressed jump again in the air, but it didn't do anything. I don't know. Maybe this is my keyboard. Maybe I didn't press the key far enough or something. Oh, I just did it again. I don't know. Is that me? Is that the game? Is the game dropping some inputs here and there or something? Wait a minute. I don't remember that shooting a big blob. Didn't do that before, did it? Why is it shooting a big blob? Before it was like... Oh gosh. Ouch. Oh. Okay, so that shoots out little lightning bolts. Before I just saw a little lightning bolt shoot straight out of the gun at the enemy, didn't I? That's weird. I don't know if I just shot it into a wall or something without realizing it. I wish this would magnetize a little bit quicker. That's a little slow for that to get picked up. Okay, we got a whole gun sitting here. Wait a minute. I can't just walk over this to pick it up. I know there's like a throw gun button, isn't there? Which maybe... Wait a minute. Whoa! No way. F key is like a flashlight? Yo, what the heck? That's sick. Okay, it was G key. Wait. Okay. I mean, I am pressing G just to see if it would do anything, but like... What's the deal with this? Is this not... Is it working correctly? Is it implemented correctly? Do I have... I don't have that weapon. Oops. Yep, I don't know what's going on. I do not know. Yeah, I don't know. This weapon... I mean, it's interesting. It looks cool, but like, is it useful? I'm not really sure. Like, especially since it has this big charge up time, and then like it still takes 3 shots or whatever just to kill this guy. I don't know. Maybe it's just a balance thing or something. But oh, whoa! I didn't expect all those to just disappear like that. I'm getting shot. And I don't know where I am. I'm just kind of somewhere. Okay, I guess we go to the right. Oh, if I go back here, I'll definitely be able to get up there now, right? Even though it looks like it's just going to bring me up to somewhere I already was. It definitely seems like there's a number of little loop-back things going on here where it's just connecting to areas we've already been. So it sort of feels like it's pointless to go back here, because even though I haven't gotten here before, it would just be bringing me back to somewhere I had gotten before. So it's kind of weird, because it's Metroidvanias, it's usually like anywhere that you haven't explored before on the map is something you want to go back and explore. Like it's a place to progress further by going and exploring that thing. So it sort of feels weird if there's a situation where it's like, oh, I can go back and explore this new area, but it's literally just a little path back to where I already was. I'm not really getting anything by doing that, so it's sort of strange. Okay. I don't know what that other gun laying on the ground was. Interesting. Fires low energy plasma bolts at a high rate of fire. Oh, okay. Never mind. We might have more than 6. What? How many guns are there? It definitely... it's feeling like just using the mouse wheel to switch through all the guns is going to be really inadequate. It's just... it's very annoying to have to go through like all of the guns trying to get to the one you're thinking of. And another thing to keep in mind is some people have these continuous scrolling mouse wheels. You know, they don't have stops in the wheel. That's a little less common, but you know, some people have that, so this kind of thing could be really annoying. They can't really get the wheel to stop when it needs to on each thing. Boy, it's a little bit blurrier than I'd like. The distinction in seeing the different weapons you're holding is not that great. Like, I don't know. There's that thing. But again, it's just spitting out damage, right? It doesn't feel like it has a lot of utility. It's kind of what you expect from power-ups you collect in Metroidvania. I mean, it's also just kind of any kind of game where you have guns. It's like if you're going to add another gun, it has to be different enough in a functional enough way to kind of justify its existence. To have, you know, why use that gun rather than another gun if it works just as well, right? So you have to kind of create reasons for each unique thing to exist. Where do I go next? I guess I can go to the right here, and it looks like I can go up. And yeah, so what's the deal with the ammo? Like, what are we gaining by restricting these guns to ammo? And also, like, I can't imagine having 10 different guns and then, like, okay, how long is it going to take you to scroll back to the one that doesn't take ammo when you need that one, you know? You're definitely going to have some other way to change weapons, at the very least, I think. Oh, okay, so yeah, I should go this way. Okay. Oh, okay, there's stuff going on down here, I think. Okay, yep, hello. Again, so where was the save, the save point? I haven't seen a save point in a while. What's up with that? What on earth? Like, where do I shoot it? It doesn't appear to react to being shot. And I don't want to waste the ammo, so usually this kind of thing you would just keep spamming spamming shots at it, but this thing is going to use up the ammo so fast. Is that... I guess I hit those little areas in the holes. Just... Okay. And now I'm out of ammo. It's quite particular about hitting that. Oh boy. I don't feel comfortable. I don't feel comfortable doing these things without with keyboard controls. But boy, it's really particular trying to hit that little spot there. And my finger's gonna get tired. Oh my gosh, clicking this much. I don't really have a choice. I may have one other gun and... You know, maybe... Okay, I guess I'm getting ammo with this. I feel like I'm wasting a lot of it by missing. Wow, it really uses it up fast. I don't think that worked. Oh boy, is that a lot of clicking? That's a lot of clicking. Okay, I didn't really have time to react to that. I don't want to click this much. Oh my gosh. So I think I noticed something. Oh, maybe I didn't. Oh my goodness, no. Why are there so many of these? Whoa, oh my gosh. What the hell? I was trying to switch to this weapon. I don't think I like that. Okay, for some reason those knock you into the middle of it when you get hit. This is very weird because you just get hit by it again because you can't really walk out of it. I guess maybe I could have hit the dodge button. Maybe that would have gotten me out if I did it right, but... Does that not hit him? Ah! I don't like that because it's like it's right at the spot you need to stand in order to get under there in order to hit that weak spot with the gun. But the way that the bullets spread out is why I keep getting hit by the ones on the edge, because I'm trying to get, because it's a little hard to get and sneak the bullets under the shape of the thing. I think it's dying. Okay. Oh. Alright, so some things I noticed. Oh, looks like we're having a fade out. Let's wait for whatever happens here. Okay, thanks for playing. So this obviously wasn't 3 hours. I think it's like every time I died, it added an hour to the timer or something. But, oh, so it just closes the game. Interesting. Okay. Well, you can stare at the black screen while I talk here. So, with the final boss there, it took a lot of shots. It took a long time to kill it, and also I took a lot of shots. I don't think I ended up getting any health from all those enemies that were popping out. Didn't look like they dropped any health, but like I was doing pretty okay for health. So I definitely feel like that's kind of what I was talking about before, where um, the player is given a lot of health, and you can end up in these sort of sloppy feeling situations where you're taking a lot of damage, and it's like it's kind of frustrating. But then I'm not actually dying, and it's like it doesn't feel quite as good as it could. And the other thing, sort of related to that is that like the enemies and the bosses can maybe have a little bit too much health because it just takes too long to kill them. It can feel worse than it ought to. So it's kind of a weird thing where it's like I'm spending forever spamming shots into this thing and it's not dying, but also I'm not dying. So it's like you have to recognize that the be all end all isn't whether or not the player dies. It's like how for the game to feel good and be enjoyable, you have to have a certain amount of tension and you have to design the action well enough so that there can be this sense of like, oh well, I have to play well or I'm going to die, but at least the game, gives me all the tools I need to avoid all the damage and everything. And if you do that right, it'll create a good balance where you can feel like I'm in control, but if I relax too much or if I get sloppy, then I could die at any moment. You want a little bit of that tension, and on the other hand, you want it to always feel like it's the player's fault if they do die. So all that stuff mixed up, stuff to consider. Yeah, the amount of clicking, just spamming this semi-automatic gun forever, it's quite annoying. And then like the other weapons are on their little, well, they have ammo, so they run out of ammo real quick, so I can't use those as much. And then okay, I kill the enemies and I get more ammo, so I can go back to using them more. But then it's like I have to deal with the weapon switching, which itself is kind of frustrating. It doesn't feel very good to do that, and it takes a lot of focus away from whatever else I'm doing, trying to switch to the right weapon again. And all that together was a little bit of a mess. I think well, I'm still not really seeing the benefit of having the weapons be bound to ammo. Like, it's one of these things, if you're going to add in this element of the mechanics, it kind of has to be justified. Like, what purpose is it serving, right? So that would be the question I would ask: is what purpose is the ammo limit serving for this game? Sure, you could say, the weapons are powerful, or the other weapons are powerful. Maybe you want to limit their use so the player doesn't just use them all the time. On the other hand, that's kind of a balance thing. I don't know if I would enjoy it necessarily if to have all of these, have a ton of weapons but always feel like I shouldn't be using them, it just seems like sort of an unfortunate thing if that would be the case, where I would always feel like I should hold back from making use of all these cool toys I'm being given because of these ammo requirements. And sure, you can give all the drops and everything to recharge your ammo, but I don't know. I feel like a stronger design would be if all of these weapons had a certain, they could have their strengths and weaknesses and certain utility to them. And maybe if they're not limited by ammo, then, you could work out how to balance them and everything, I guess. And then at that point, maybe I can just choose whatever weapon either I feel like using or whatever weapon works best for the current situation or something. And yeah, the amount of like weapon switching and stuff is a little bit tricky, I think, to fit in this sort of game. In a Metroidvania like this, it's sort of like, I don't know. I'm not really sure if it fits as well as you'd hope it would, you know, to collect so many guns and to want to be switching between them constantly. I feel like most of the time you just kind of want to jump around, and then once something gets in your way, you kind of blast it out of your way, you know, and I don't know if you necessarily want to be switching weapons all the time or managing that aspect. On the other hand, of course, it's very cool to unlock more toys and stuff. So that's another thing, but you know, maybe you want to consider, you know, limiting the number of weapons that you put in, but also just have them be very particular in their design, as opposed to just having a lot of weapons. It seemed like you had a lot of room for a lot of other weapons, and yeah, I mean, if you compare it to other, you know, games like Metroid and stuff, obviously you don't want to make Metroid, you want to make your own thing, but you know, Metroid has a lot of different tools, but they're not all just different guns you pull out, right? They kind of do different things. Like you have, okay, you have your main gun, and then okay, you can do your charge up shot now, and then you have, okay, you have your missiles, and then okay, you have different kinds of missiles, and then you have your bombs, and you have different kinds of bombs, and then you have you know, the spin attack, and it's kind of distributed into different things where you're not just picking a weapon out of a long list of weapons. It's kind of like, okay, this one's kind of built into this, and that one's built into that. And they're sort of different functions. You go in the morph ball and you can drop the bombs, or you can charge up your main shot, or you can jump in a certain way, or you can, you know, you have your what is it called, the grappling hook thing, grapple beam. Sorry. You know, they all have sort of different functional things that they're spread across. And I think that just kind of works out different, where it's kind of like, well, you're certainly not dealing with just a list of things that you have to select a weapon out of in order to wield it, right? It's kind of like it's tied to different controls and such, and you can, for the most part, there are, you know, talking about like Super Metroid, there is an element of you can select between different special weapons. You know, you have like different types of missiles and the grappling beam and everything, but then a lot of the other things are kind of tied to different controls, and you don't have to do all this switching, I guess. I don't know if that makes any sense what I'm talking about, but back to this game. So yeah, I guess the big things I would say is I would put some more save points for sure. I feel like the jump itself is a little bit, you know, it doesn't quite feel uh doesn't feel the way I would hope it would feel, I guess. You know, it just feels like it has a lot of vertical energy and not so much horizontal energy, and it's maybe just a little bit fast and high. Maybe the height isn't as much of a problem as the speed of it, you know. Lack of the air control after you jump, you know, I would tweak that a little bit, you know, just little things. What else was there? Just enemy designs in general. I feel like there's a lot of little things where it's quite difficult to avoid the damage and some of these things and stuff. I think those are kind of the biggest things. Oh, no. So this is probably the biggest thing. So I have to say, yeah. So this whole concept of the mouse aiming, I don't feel as though the game is really benefiting from that as much as maybe you want it to, versus just using gamepad controls. Like, in particular, because this was described as being kind of a movement focused game, right? I feel like if you're going to go keyboard and mouse, you're sacrificing your movement control in order to give more precision to the mouse aiming. Does that make sense? That's absolutely my experience. So in terms of movement precision and doing all these precise movements and such, it's just so much harder to do that with a keyboard than it is with a gamepad. So in my opinion, I think you're gaining so much more from just sticking to your traditional gamepad controls and, you know, dealing with the fact that you have less precision in your aiming in order to gain, so much more precision and ability with everything else in the controls. It's not. I mean, there's 1,000 games that have demonstrated that you can absolutely do shooting combat like this without, without a mouse, without having that degree of precision. And in some ways, the mouse can kind of hold you back. Like I was talking about before, where if you kind of just you moving around or the camera shifting around and stuff kind of affects your aim with the mouse, because the mouse itself doesn't move relative to the character or to the world or anything. The mouse is tied to screen space, so that creates its own kind of weirdness and all this stuff. So even though you have a lot of precision, it's not always that accurate, or it can be hard to make it accurate. And all of those kinds of problems and all of the struggle you might have with the dexterity required from your left hand to do all the keyboard stuff, all that kind of just disappears when you pull out a gamepad. And if you're working with that, even if you can only aim in 8 directions, that's pretty okay. I wouldn't necessarily. I don't know if like a twin stick sort of shooting would be ideal. I think I would rather go for just using a single stick, or the main directional input would control both the movement and the shooting. I think that's what I would aim for. And there's a lot of games that have done that you can reference, and the ways to do that work well. I think that's a lot more solid to do rather than trying to do 2 sticks at once. That's, it seems like it might be an obvious choice, but in my opinion and experience, that kind of has its own problems of how it kind of complicates the controls more than benefits them. So in any case, yeah, I think that obviously there's a lot of cool stuff in here, and it looks gorgeous, and the movement abilities that I've seen so far definitely seem really cool. But if I could play something like this with a gamepad, I feel like there's so much more I could do in terms of moving around successfully and also just feeling good about it. Not feeling like I'm gonna fumble my fingers at any moment with trying to do stuff with the gamepad, keyboard and such. So yeah, I think that would benefit this game a lot. Honestly, I know that's like I feel like saying that is like going against a lot of what the developer is trying to do here, possibly, but have to be honest about it, I guess. But yeah, I mean, it's really cool overall, and lots of little I don't know, sticking points in here, but obviously a lot of potential here as well. So hopefully this was useful for you. I know it was a long one. And let me know if you have any questions, and I'll see you in the next one.